All right, talk to me about the politics of power bills. I'm going to get into all the detail of this draft version of the default market offer. It sits on the table for people at home for a number of months and then becomes final in middle of the year. Some postcodes, Andrew, they'll get a small reduction. At best, they can get is 7%. Other postcodes, Queensland, regional New South Wales, parts of Western Sydney, they're actually going to get an increase to their power bills. Now, if you look at the last couple of years, and we heard from one of the members in the House today, people in her community, she said, have had almost a 40% increase in their power bills over the last 2 years. 7% is a drop in the ocean, particularly when people were told they were going to get a big whack from the PM, $275, if you got elected, off their bills. How's this going to play out?
Well, the opposition needs to take their chance here. They need to prosecute this long and loud. And really, the amount of pressure that comes to bear will be dependent on the opposition's performance. Now, Peter Dutton told his party room today, we're still in this, even though this is the first party room since Dunkley, the by-election loss, remember? And he said, we're still in this, we could still win this election. They haven't got the answers of cost of living, and they haven't got the answers on energy costs. And that's obviously where he's going to concentrate. And you can see why when you take this electricity bill example, because electricity bills have gone up about $830 a year, and now they're flattening out, right? They're still up $830 a year, and you're going to cop the bill every year. So how much is the tax reduction, tax cut change worth to those on low to middle incomes? Well, it's worth about $1,000 a year, isn't it? So it's really already been paid for in terms of the electricity bill rises. Now, that's the line the opposition should be running. Far be it from me to give them advice, but that's my advice, Peter.
I'll dispute they're going to flatten out too, because once we put all the renewable transmission costs in, and renewables are transmission costs, about 40% of our power bills as they stand, I think there's going to be a bit like this, and then it's going to be exponential before we get to 2030. Hey, just quickly, what can you tell us about this religious discrimination bill? You're all over that one as well.
Yes, well, there was a conversation between Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton on the plane back from Jack Fitzgibbon's funeral, where Anthony Albanese said, I need bipartisan support and we're not doing anything. And that's before they even get to the start line with the bill. So Micaiah Cash was on Sunday Agenda saying, oh, look, they're going to have this report down on Thursday saying what they're doing on religious discrimination, or at least a recommendation from the Law Reform Commission about what they're going to do. But it just seems to me they want to kick the can down the road, and that's what Anthony Albanese told caucus. If we can't get bipartisan support, and he actually quoted Micaiah Cash's comments, we can't really go ahead with this one. I don't think the government, even though they promised to advance this, really want to. They don't want to in terms of the febrile environment in the community at the moment around Israel and Palestine, but also you saw how politically tough it was for Scott Morrison. Everyone complains no matter what change you make. But it's an interesting tactic, isn't it? He's almost saying, I'm going to blame the opposition to his caucus for not pressing ahead with this. Now, I compared this to aged care reform because I felt there was a similar approach today on that. They said we need bipartisan support or we're not pressing ahead with that. I am told, though, that they are a bit more determined on that front. So I think they're going to try harder with the opposition on that one, and you'd hope so given the cost of aged care in this country.
Look, I remember all the school wars, particularly with Catholic schools and low-fee independent schools, not the rich schools, but the modest schools. I think that's also probably spooked them as well. That's all back from the Howard years there, but it burnt them hard in some seats. Thank you, Andrew.